guys, I'm here in Poway, California. Look at this big palm tree right behind me. Yeah, baby. I'm gonna do a video today about sowing and reaping, influenced by Jim Rohn. Check it out. Before we get started, please subscribe to my channel. Please give it a thumbs up and comment below if anything in this video, sparks an interest in you. Anyways, I want to read a couple quotes from a guy who had a huge influence on me, my mentor, Jim Rohn. I read all his stuff. I listen to all his audio, all his videos. He started from nowhere. He was an obscure farm boy from Idaho. And he went on to just, be massive in his self-development, and he made a fortune in like 6 years. From the time he was 26 to 31, he became a millionaire. Anyways, he says, all life forms strives to the max of its potential, except human beings. So all life forms, like a tree, how tall is a tree gonna grow? As tall as it can. That's just nature. That's, all life forms strives to the max of its potential except human beings. Because we're the only ones with conscious thought, like sometimes talk about self-development and we just want to be mediocre, or we just want to do the minimum or whatever, everything in nature strives to be the best it can, to grow as tall as it can, to be the strongest it can, to have a full life, to meet or exceed its potential, except for humans, That's why this path of, self-development is so fulfilling, You could become more, you can just do a little more and have an awesome life, man. I want to share another Jim Rohn quote. Make rest a necessity, not an objective. Okay, like even little kids know that. They want to go out and play. They want to make the most of the day. So, this is a famous quote. Make rest a necessity, not an objective. It means, you got to go to sleep. You got to recharge your batteries. You got to get back up and do some cool stuff. But it can't be your objective. Sleeping in on Sunday, on the weekends, I love to sleep. I just love to be nothing and get fat and happy on the couch. Wrong. Make rest a necessity, not an objective, okay? Otherwise, as Jim Rohn would say, the weeds will overtake the garden, okay? How far can we beat the weeds back? All the way. How far will the weeds come up to the house? All the way. If we let them, if we don't tend the weeds, they're going to take over the garden. They're going to come all the way up to the house. And what he's saying in life is, if you don't fix your car, if you don't wash your car, if you don't brush your teeth will fall out. Your car's going to break down on the side of the road. All these things are stuff that we can get after. And, that's not the... Anyways, reaping and sowing, this is influenced by Jim Rohn as well. So Jim Rohn, in all his lectures and stuff, he quotes a fair bit amount out of the Bible, and I'm not a Bible guy or whatever. I have read it, but I think Jim Rohn was, he was pretty much lived by that book or whatever. But what I want to say about sowing and reaping, I've read the Bible, and I always thought it was always kind of like karma, and like there's a lot of killing in the Bible, and a lot of people getting what they deserve, so to speak. Or I guess as Jim Rohn would say, it's like stories and illustrations of what to do and how you'll prosper, and then what not to do and what could happen to you. Usually you get killed, or something, you die early, or something bad happens, But in reaping and sowing, in my mind, I always thought of it like karma, like you're gonna get what you deserve or whatever. I always thought like you reap what you sow. It's like it's gonna come back around. What goes around comes around. But he really talks about reaping and sowing in a different way, more like a farmer, like planting and harvesting. You got to plant seeds, you got to do things in life to get ahead, or it's never gonna get there for you. So sowing and reaping in his eyes was more like planting and harvesting, like seeds. Think of it as seeds as a crop. You're not gonna get a crop if you don't plant the seeds, okay? Okay, I got my book out here. It's what I wanted to go over on sowing and reaping. So, like I said, I used to think it meant like what goes around comes around, or karma. It's not what it means, okay? I've come to know it now as the emphasis lies in planting then harvesting, okay? You have to do A, B, and C to reap the rewards of that. You know, there's not going to be, you can't cry that there's nothing to benefit you if you haven't put in the time, or you haven't put in the work, or you haven't sown the seeds for these things to happen. Be it a money system, be it, you know, real estate, or the stock market. If you're not actively learning about that, or pursuing that, or throwing money into that, you're not going to get the benefits of that, okay? And I want to talk a little bit about the American dream is dead, you know, to you as an employee, okay? As an employee, I think it's dead, all right? You have to sow the seeds of business, money systems, fitness, eating well, positive role models, positive self-talk. You have to do the work, okay? And you have to get into, you know, in Jim Rohn's case, he was into Herbalife, and before that it was I forget, it was his with his mentor Earl Shove, Abunda Vita. Okay, it was like vitamins and diet, and like, you know, dieting and supplements and vitamins. So he defines that as a unique selling, as a unique opportunity. You know, something it's like a ladder that you can move up. You can never move up on being an employee, all right? So you need to find a unique selling or investing opportunity, and then the sky's the limit. You know, you can become rich quickly. You can do the sowing, and then the reaping comes in abundance. It comes like super fast too. I found that to be true in my life. All right, so this all depends on, you know, planting, which would be learning. You know, you have the internet, you have Google. You shouldn't be texting your buddies or watching fart videos all day, or, you know, being on Facebook or Instagram. You should be Googling things you want to learn about, and, you know, it should be self-development related. You know, this is what's gonna help you in your planting. Planting means learning, okay? Becoming. And going farther away from the 98%. That means your buddies at work that all they want to do is work at the warehouse for 15 years, or work at the pizza place for 10 years, you know, and they don't have any side business going. They don't have any hopes and dreams. Or if they do, they're too afraid to go and see them through. You know, something burned them in the past, and then they retract, and they're like, I never want to get burned again, you know. But people don't realize there's a lot of failing that teaches you on the way. You have to be able to fail. You have to be able to learn, and you have to have balls to do it, and not just like recoil and think everything's bad and everything's hard and why don't I get mine. You have to do the sowing, do the learning, do the planting, and then you reap the rewards of the harvest, okay? So, and you got to get away from the 98%. And you got to get away from negativity. I talked about this in other videos. Even if there's one negative guy at work, you stay well away from him. Okay, you don't engage with him. You don't talk to him much. You keep learning. You keep growing. You know that you know your eyes is on the prize, and that you're gonna sow this awesome, you know, abundant harvest is coming your way because you're putting in the time and doing this work. That's the 98% they can't even fathom. You know, they're just worried about paying credit cards off or getting a new Kia or whatever. So while you're doing this, You always have to be grateful. You sow even more. You find ways to sow even more, okay? You sow seeds in different businesses and different arenas, and you buy different stocks. Right now I'm just adding to my positions, but there's always something I'm looking at. There's always something, and there's always products I'm adding to the systems I have going now. You know, it's gonna eventually get me an extra 1K a month, you know? So, and that's when you really, reaping the rewards, is when you're financially independent, you know? And for me, that's gonna be 10K a month, 10 grand a month, financial freedom. I'll be basically retired, and you know, at that point I can just do videos and hopefully they get better. But anyway, so you always gotta be grateful, but still striving to grab even more, plant even more, okay? Sowing even more. So when you reap the harvest, you know, you do it without complaint. You do it without bragging. You don't feel bad if it's incredibly good. You know, you don't try to talk it down. You accept it, you know? All right, man, you're sowing more seeds, of course. Always, never stay the same. So sowing a lot, it depends on personal discipline. Everything depends on personal discipline. Discipline, almost extreme discipline. Make sure you sow when you don't want to. Make sure you do the things that are going to help your self-development, your fitness, your health, your mentality, your reading, your vocabulary. Right now I'm trying not to curse, like zero cursing. It's the hardest thing I've ever done. But I'm sowing good seeds with that. I mean, I'm going to reap the rewards of more descriptive terms I can use to speak, better speaker, or more sophisticated, okay? And you got to turn away from consuming normal media. Like if you're on the computer all day, if you're watching Fox News all day, man, you gotta stop that, okay? This is just sowing seeds of negativity. Talk about reaping and sowing. You know, you're gonna spit out negative words. You're gonna be influenced by that. These nightmares, they're always got something bad and negative. These are gonna play in your dreams and also in your subconscious mind throughout the day. You have to be wise to turn away from consuming normal media. It mesmerizes the masses, you know. It doesn't do you anything positive. Of course, the masses are obsessed with it because it feeds them what they want. It's kind of like McDonald's with a certain amount of fat and salt, and they get you hooked. And that's what basically social media is. It's just little candy to pass the time. It's just nonsense. It's not doing you any good. All right, so your mind is my mind is always in the future, okay? More products, different products, different money systems, and different investments. Not consuming, but creating, okay? Creating is synonymous with sowing, okay? You want to be a creator, you know, not a consumer. Like right now I have a roommate that's just like, you know, wants to get everything in the mail, just wants to be a consumer. I know. Back when we were watching TV, that's all they really wanted you to do. That's what these billboards are doing. They're trying to get you to consume more. You need a Rolex watch. You need a Jaguar. Blah, 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 blah. And like, you know, beer, alcohol, negative things, man. So, you know, concentrate on your mind or change your mindset to try to be a producer, not a consumer. And you can produce by producing money, sowing seeds of you know, positivity, of health, of education, self-education, of being wise with money, and you know, being productive and being a, you know, 2%, you know, higher vibration human. You know, that's what your family really wants. Not a zombie staring at the phone, texting while having a family dinner or whatever, or you're out to eat. All right, so I'm always looking for more systems, different money systems, money trees, investments. You know, these are part of my sowing routine because I want to reap. You know, some of the stuff goes on for 10 years, some of the stuff goes on for 5 years. Luckily, some of it's like taken off in, you know, 2 years. I'm doing well right now. I'm extremely grateful. But and then I talk about the investing. You want to throw off at least 10% of your money. If you're making $3,000 a month, then you get $300 into a sound investment. You put that money aside. You get it into the stock market. You get it into the index fund. Okay, this is part of your sowing the seed, so you can reap the rewards of Apple stock going up to $4.55 a share or whatever. You didn't buy it at $154, then you missed out. Okay, because eventually you want to put 50%. Okay, 10% is nothing. When you have zero debt and you're making $10K a month and you still live, don't live big or don't live high, you could throw 50% in there, and then the money levels get so absurd that it would be obscene to spend, that kind of money every month. You'd have to throw it off and do investments. It gets to a point where I don't even think you could spend that much unless you're buying like tigers and mansions and jets and stuff like Mike Tyson or whatever. So you always want to live below your means. This helps sowing and reaping. You want to add value to the many. That's why I want to do videos. I'm not getting paid for any of this yet. I'm trying to become a better speaker. I'm trying to become better at this stuff. It's not interesting to just do self-development videos. Everybody wants funny videos or whatever. So this is not an interesting genre. I understand that. But I'm bettering myself. I'm sowing the seeds of improvement with these videos, okay? And I want to add value to the many. Just like Amazon helps me reach millions of customers, YouTube can do the same. I want to reach the many. That's part of sowing. You can't just be at the corner store or be a painter or whatever in your area until you get on the internet and serve the many. You're not sowing correctly, okay? You want to use that leverage for your sowing. YouTube, Amazon, Etsy. It helps you reach millions. All right, I hope this finds you well. Subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time.